Gary Black calls Warren Redlich a Tesla Uber bull, and he just sold 20% of his Tesla stock. He hated to do it. So naturally, the stock jumps as a lot of good news has just been confirmed. We're talking about good China weekly numbers, global Model Y inventory being at the new low for the trailing quarter, Cybertruck ramping faster than expected, and on top of that, good Tesla semi news, which I will make a separate video about, and most importantly, people clicking the like button. But why is Warren selling Tesla stock? He explains the risks. Number one, the shareholders vote no on the compensation package. Number two, this would be correctly seen as a vote of no confidence in Elon. Number three, Elon is likely to leave if it happens. Or if Elon leaves, the AI team leaves quickly, the dream is dead, the stock collapses, and the company never recovers. But looking at the fact that Warren Redlich did not sell everything, he only sold 20%, it's not even a third, not even a half, I don't think he really fully thinks it's likely to happen. I think he sees a risk, but he's not really thinking it will actually happen. Elon stated before that even without him, he thinks Tesla will solve FSD, which is, I think, where most of the value is going to come from for Tesla's valuation in the future. But without Elon Musk, I don't think the Tesla bot would come to fruition in a big scale. In the meantime, we got good news. This is huge. Cybertruck production continues moving along at Texas with around 200 produced daily now. If, let's say, Elon leaves, what I think would happen would be Tesla would become a much more conservative company. Tesla would start advertising heavily. Tesla would be releasing models left and right, probably, to have something for every single market segment. Basically, Tesla will start doing every single thing that Wall Street wants Tesla to do. And unless Elon Musk starts another EV company, I don't think everyone is just going to leave. Also, it's in Elon's best interest, if he does leave, to have someone run Tesla who is actually really capable, because he does have a lot of Tesla stock, and I don't think he just wants that stock to collapse. So I don't think the worst case scenario is really all that horribly bad. Tesla released a new video, and this was in that video. This interior has never been seen before. And we know that Tesla is actively working on a Robotaxi to unveil it on August 8th. So this got people talking. This appears to be a two-seater vehicle without a steering wheel, and the seats don't really resemble seats of a regular vehicle. They look to me like what you would maybe find on a public transport vehicle. Keep in mind, this is just a concept, I think. This might not be a final product at all. And I did say before that to me, it does make sense to have a two-seater vehicle in the beginning because you will have lower costs, and based on what Uber says, about 90% of all of the rides happen with one or two passengers anyway. And if you do need a 4-people vehicle, you can call a Model 3 or a Model Y. There will be plenty of those. And then later, eventually, Tesla can still make a 4-seater or 5-seater Robotaxi. I just think it makes more sense to start with a 2-seater. I just hope it will feel spacious inside. Troy, though, is not happy. This looks uncomfortable, cramped, and uninspiring. I'm going to reserve my judgment until I actually see the final product. This is just a prototype, and I'm sure there are going to be many iterations of that prototype. And eventually, even when Tesla launches it, it will probably need to iterate on the initial design a few times. I think it also, in the long term, might make sense to have different tiers of the Robotaxi. One, cheap as heck. And then another version, more luxurious, more stylish, more comfortable, more spacious, but also much more expensive. Omar hears it smells bad in there too. It must be the fart mode. I'm pretty tall, and when I call an Uber, I love it when a Tesla comes because Tesla vehicles are generally a bit more spacious for how I am built. If another brand comes, I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's gonna be fine, but Tesla vehicles to me feel more spacious, so I don't think you're gonna feel cramped in the Robotaxi. Maybe it looks so from this design, but the final product, I think, is not gonna make you feel cramped. Maybe the idea is you can sit in the middle if you are by yourself. I would prefer that because I like seeing the road in front of me and me being in the middle of the car. That's also safer, I think. And see how there's this armrest that you can just put up? Yeah, so maybe you can actually sit in the middle. I don't know how comfortable that would be though. It doesn't look like it would be great, but We'll see. You also got to remember that most Robotaxi rides are going to be short rides, and for a longer ride, you can call a more comfortable Robotaxi. There's also a quick sneak peek of Tesla's upcoming ride-hailing app released in their shareholder video. FSD v12.4 has now rolled out to employees this past weekend, and if all looks good, we should all have it soon in our cars. And this is Boris Johnson, who was the UK's Prime Minister, and he's driving on FSD beta. So Tesla put the former Prime Minister in this Tesla in LA with his wife and baby in the car, and he was blown away. He says, "I can report, ladies and gents, that the overall effect is astonishing. It's so human," I gasped. "So smooth. At the end of about 45 minutes, I feel like a driving test examiner, except that I want to tell the car that it has passed with flying colors." I wonder if he's driving on V12.4. Well, I think this gives us a hint. A Tesla official said it doesn't yet recognize that gesture, but we are fixing it for the next iteration, talking about hand gestures like stop, showing this to the car or something like that. But it should be done next month, so he's not driving on 12.4. But FSD works better in LA, and he believes that self-driving cars are the future. I, of course, 100% agree with that. He's definitely right. I think the markets are definitely liking this because it is quite a bit above the previous year and quite a bit above the previous quarter. So this is definitely good news, and it's quite a bit higher than the previous week. And we are now officially substantially above the previous quarter in terms of deliveries. And to beat the last year's quarter, we just need to be above this green line up from here. James is happy with the deliveries as well. He maintains, though, that quarter over quarter, Tesla's deliveries will be flat in China. His estimate for this quarter is 413,000 deliveries in total globally. And if next week's number in China is also good, he will increase that number. So China is definitely doing better, but Europe, not so much. Keep in mind that these are just a few countries in Europe. We don't have much data there yet. Morgan Stanley's Adam Jonas has just released a new Tesla note. Elon Musk needs Tesla more than ever, and if Elon needs Tesla so much, why would he leave? AI's appetite for capital and data increased Tesla's importance within the Musk economy because Tesla can raise money really easily and it has a lot of cash. So this is a bit of a contrarian view at the moment, with some investors being afraid that Elon is likely to leave. So far, we have learned that AI is a capital game. It's very capital intense. Tesla's success lowers the cost of capital of the Musk economy, in our opinion, meaning it's easier for other companies of Elon to get more money, and Tesla's failure raises the cost of capital for the Musk economy. Morgan Stanley says it's impossible to predict what's going to happen on the shareholders' day. Now, on Sunday, I recorded a video on Patreon predicting what's going to happen. This is a bit of a warning to Tesla stock investors, and I share some thoughts that normally I wouldn't want to share publicly, but because only a few people will ever see this video, it's much more appropriate for me to share some of my other thoughts as well. Also, over the summer, I will be posting a lot more videos on Patreon. A link to sign up is down below in the description. But this looks good. Sawyer was informed that 84,000 Tesla shareholders at Avanza Bank in Sweden can now vote in Tesla's shareholder meeting after the bank made an exception. The bank says, "We have received many requests to be able to vote. Normally, we do not offer the opportunity to vote at general meetings outside the EU, but we have made an exception in this case." And things like this, of course, make a difference. This is also a great way for this bank to get more customers because some Tesla shareholders are going to switch to that bank now. So Tesla, Elon Musk, and the Tesla shareholders are putting pressure on some of these institutions that make it extremely difficult to vote or even impossible. And we are likely to see more changes like what we just saw with this bank. If you are in Germany and if you are with this institution, you might be able to vote. Here's how to do it. Pause and take a look. So just because you are not in the US, it doesn't mean that you cannot vote. Also, Tesla shareholders at Nordnet can now vote in Tesla's annual shareholder meeting. I'm reposting this to my timeline. Go check it out if you are in one of these countries. Elon also really appreciates the effort. Gary Black, though, speaks up. All these nervous Tesla bulls running around warning that shareholders may not approve Elon's compensation plan which could cause Elon to leave the company. This is insane fear-mongering at its worst. In my honest opinion, Tesla shareholders will overwhelmingly approve Elon's compensation plan in 2024, just as 73% approved it in 2018 before the 8x Tesla value creation of 2018 to 2024. Obviously, Morgan Stanley disagrees. I also think this message that Gary Black is promoting makes people lazy. And some will read that and say, oh, I don't need to vote. And that could create a self-fulfilling prophecy of people actually not voting and then the thing not being passed. And if the voting is going exactly according to how Tesla wanted to go, how come Tesla just started campaigning? I mean, the board members are trying to get everyone to vote. We have never quite seen anything like that before. And if the stock was at its all-time high, I would not be disagreeing with Gary's message at all, but the stock is not at all-time highs, and some people are a bit emotional and they don't think in the very long term, and they think if we pay Elon, then that's just going to dilute my stock and I'm going to end up with less value overall, and then they miss the point that that's going to seriously upset Elon, and I don't think you want to have Elon Musk hold a grudge against you. Gary believes the vote will pass with 65 to 70% approval. No one long Tesla stock wants to see Elon leave. I also completely disagree with Gary Black that all of the people that are Tesla bulls want Elon Musk to stay. Fred from Electric is actually a Tesla shareholder, which makes him a Tesla bull. Years ago, he did vote for the Elon Musk compensation package to be approved, and now he's voting against it. And Fred has a pretty big platform, and what Cogwin Leo did definitely disproves what Gary Black believes. He's the biggest retail Tesla stock holder, owning billions of dollars worth of Tesla stock, and he voted against paying Elon. He voted his 27.5 million shares against paying Elon. So don't get complacent if you are in favor of paying Elon. If you, for some reason, have not voted yet, vote. Tesla shareholders put together a list of all of the institutions that don't allow you to vote. And Tesla's Martin Viecha went through the whole list, and as expected, nearly every company on this list does not hold US shares directly, but through a variety of intermediaries. But Tesla is trying to make it possible for everyone to vote, and Martin suggests to change your broker to Interactive Brokers. And Elon reposted that post to his main timeline, getting 37 million views. This is concerning. Tesla will reach out to these banks and brokers. Shareholders have the right to vote their shares. Be ready for some FUD soon due to a holiday. We likely are about to get all the Euro vehicle registration numbers very soon for April. AJ also points out that in Europe, contrary to popular belief, Tesla's market share strengthened in BEVs. This was in January though. Tesla is extending really good financing deals to other countries. This time it's Malaysia. In Australia, Tesla has just cut the price of the Model Y rear-wheel drive by about 7%. So that's about 3,300 USD. This is one of the absolute dumbest things I have ever seen a Tesla vehicle owner do. He says, I have owned my Tesla for less than a year, and within the last 6 months, it has twice attempted to drive directly into a passing train while in FSD mode. The most recent incident occurred on May 8th of this year, and I have dashcam footage from that event proving that he's an idiot. So he knew there was a problem. He knew he was going to go through a place where trains go. And look at this visibility. It's not exactly great. So he's not paying attention. And I am seeing this thing seconds before it's too late to intervene. Let's count together. Okay. Now it's flashing. Stop, 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 stop. By the way, this guy is not the driver. He just reposted this from someplace else. James just commented on FSD, and I agree with what he's saying here. One thing I would emphasize, I think that early adopters of FSD, especially ones that have been testers for years, have or would have a higher tolerance for irregular FSD driving behaviors than the average person who is trying it for the first time and making a buying decision. Early adopters enjoy living on the leading edge of technology. The average person will need to see a lot of value in it before paying $100 a month for it, so the bar for Tesla is higher. The implications are that adoption may remain quite low for some time before suddenly increasing very quickly in a very short period of time. But that will require a lot more progression on both interventions and on comfort. You know, like for example, the next version improving the number of interventions by 5 to 10 times. So if that happens a few more times in the next few months, the value proposition is going to get a lot better. And here's some good news. More than 80% of the Tesla vehicles in the US and Canada now have FSD V12 installed. Less than 15% remain on FSD V11 based on the Tesla Fi data. Tesla's head of semi-engineering says Tesla semi-trucks have driven over 3.5 million miles. He added the Semi is 65% more efficient with a max payload than gas rivals, averaging 1.7 kilowatt hours per mile across the fleet. There's some good news here. This company, New Leaf Energy, has proposed a new Tesla Megapack battery energy storage system facility in this location. The facility will be 40,000 square feet and consist of 24 Tesla Megapacks and will generate around 80 megawatt hours, which could power 16,000 homes. This is just the beginning. We will start seeing more and more of these over time. Tesla's energy business already exceeds Tesla's automotive business in terms of its gross margins. And that's before Tesla even starts using its own batteries for these Megapacks. Elon also confirmed part of the Giga Texas extension will contain a super dense water-cooled supercomputer cluster. So that's obviously going to help FSD development. We have heard rumors about this thing already, and now it's being confirmed officially by Elon Musk. This is fairly big news. I mean, we expected it, we knew about it, but it's now basically official. We don't know if it's going to be Dojo or Nvidia, maybe both. Also, electricity prices are lower in Texas, so it does make sense to go there. This is Giga Texas, and that circle is where it's going to be. Of course, this is proof that Tesla is just a car company. I mean, a car company that's building giant computer clusters in its car-only factories, right? What is going on here? Indonesia's senior minister says Elon Musk will consider building an EV battery plant in Indonesia after meeting with the president. Now, we have heard about this about 2 years ago now, and nothing happened. For about 6 months, 2 years ago, we heard a lot about it nonstop, and then silence. Nothing. And now this thing is coming out. Now, who exactly from Indonesia is saying that? Well, it's also Indonesia's coordinating minister of investment, or I guess it's the same minister. And also before, we have seen Indonesian officials visit the US and meet with Elon Musk. I think it was the president that did that. That was a while ago. But unless I hear something directly from Elon Musk, I'm not trusting these Indonesian politicians that Tesla is actually going to do something there, because we have heard so much about it before and nothing happened.
I'm confident that my other companies will invest in Indonesia long term. So thank you.
Okay, so Tesla will invest probably in Indonesia, but in the long term, when exactly is that? Is that next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? We'll find out. We have been having a lot of protests against Tesla in Germany, and now there's this proposed Tesla Megapack facility in New York, which draws a lot of concerns from local residents. So are we gonna have more protests, but in New York this time? This is the same project that I mentioned just a little bit earlier. Tesla Chan posted Tesla's production numbers for April. You can pause and take a look if you're interested. And Roland put together this chart today. Shout out to him, he does a great job. Now there is a downtrend, I think, here a little bit. Well, we produced as many as in February. Of course, April is a slightly longer month, and there's no Chinese New Year, or I would say there's not as much a downtrend as it's just stabilizing. If you see this as a bottom, yeah, it's not going below that bottom, really. Wholesale number was in line with production, so the calculated inventory doesn't change much. Oof. Layoffs continue. Well, this is not really a layoff, not yet. Tesla Korea recently sent an email to all of its employees asking them to resign voluntarily, all of them, proposing 2 special severance packages that offer up to 2 months of salary additionally to their basic severance pay. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that it's all of the employees, but I'm not really all that familiar with South Korea's laws. Maybe it's super hard to fire people. I lived in Europe before, and whew, in some countries it's extremely difficult to lay off people. Some are easier though. But South Korea, unlike the United States, where layoffs are relatively easy to do, South Korea has strict dismissal requirements, so it is interpreted as taking out a voluntary retirement card. Yeah, so Tesla is just, well, I guess if you're really happy at the company, you're not going to leave. But if you're not doing that well, yeah, I guess you're happy to leave, and Tesla is trying to get these people to leave. So I don't really see anything wrong with this. Oh, termination without just cause are null and void in South Korea. Yeah, indeed, it doesn't seem easy to let people go in Korea. Tesla China has launched a limited time incentive for both new and existing customers. It's offering 5,000 kilometers of free supercharging to the first 140 customers who order a Tesla vehicle before June 20th. 140? That's one of the weirder promotions I've seen from Tesla, but all right. Oh, Canada too is considering raising tariffs on Chinese-made EV. So my fellow Canadians, if you want to buy a Tesla vehicle, right now might be the best time, because Chinese-built Teslas are actually a little bit better than American-built Teslas, because Shanghai's factory is newer, the equipment is slightly better, it's more automated. I would prefer a Chinese-made Tesla vehicle if we were speaking strictly just about build quality and stuff like that. There's no confirmation though how big the tariff would be. Elon reposted this video. It's a video that Tesla team put together of their own volition. Elon did not ask the Tesla team to do this, and it's a great video. Enjoy.
The goal is to give people hope that there is a path to a fully sustainable global economy, that we are on that path, that we are accelerating that path, and that so long as we don't get complacent about it, it will happen.
This was really the beginning of the end of the Tesla bubble. I actually think the company could go bust.
Tesla's Model Y is the world's best-selling car, beating out Toyota's RAV4 and its Corolla models.
Regarding FSD version 12, it's profound. The rate of improvement is rapid. It might be the biggest asset value appreciation in history when you can do unsupervised full self-driving.
I mean, that just sounds like a story stock. Autonomous taxi. I mean, can you really balance your checkbook with, sort of pie in the sky predictions like that?
If you ask the wrong question, the right answer is impossible.
My prediction is that a majority of Tesla's long-term value will be Optimus. And that prediction I'm very confident of.
It's very rare a product comes along that is seemingly impossible, that experts said would never be made. And this is one of those times. Finally, the future will look like the future. People say, why'd you make it bulletproof? I'm like, why not?
Energy storage deployments, the Megapack in particular, reached an all-time high in Q1, leading to record profitability for the energy business.
This is the machine that builds the machine, and the factory is the product. And this building is the most advanced car factory that Earth has ever seen.
If you value Tesla as an auto company, it's just the wrong framework. If somebody doesn't believe Tesla's going to solve autonomy, I think they should not be an investor in the company. But we will. And we are.
That's it for today's video. Make sure to click the like button right now, and thank you everyone for your support on Patreon. If you haven't seen this video on Patreon, a bit of a warning to Tesla stock investors, definitely watch that one. There's going to be a link down below in the description.